Welcome to LockDown Youth Ministry, where we're just youth leaders talking about how to do youth ministry in a lockdown world. I'm Jasmine. Hey, nice to see you again. This is Brad. Say hi, Brad.
Hey, kid just walked in, so I'm just dealing with that. But how's it going, everyone?
Hello, welcome to Lockdown World with kids everywhere. And then we've got Gordon.
Good. Gordon, thanks for introducing me, Jasmine. It's good to be back.
Yes.
Yeah. How's everybody doing? It's been a couple of days. What's your highs and lows?
Oh. Yeah, shall I go first?
Yeah, I think
Brad's still dealing with his daughter.
All right, Jazz.
Yeah, well, I have officially moved into my brother's house, which has kind of been crazy. Their boys are so amazing, but so crazy. So I've had to move into the shed. I pretty much tried every room in the house to try and get a quiet room, and this is the closest, but they've already come in like 3 times, so I assume they'll keep coming. But my biggest high is that I've started my TikTok career. I've got bored already, and I've moved into the realm of the youth.
Oh no.
It's so funny. I keep sharing with people, and people are like, that's pretty good. So I think I'm
off
to it.
You want to put a link to your TikTok in the corner?
No.
Right here? No.
Oh, speak of the devil, my nephew's just trying to walk in. And then my low is that I've been talking to a couple of my youth group kids, and I think like the reality is just starting to hit everyone. A couple of them is like a very extroverted high schooler whose sister, she's got 3 sisters, so like she's good to go, but they're all really introverted, so she's like going crazy. She's like, even my family won't talk to me. So she's not having the greatest time at the moment. So just working with like how I can manage, you know, having family around all the time and also looking after my young people and doing my job. So that's not been so fun, and it's only day 2. So how about you, Gordon? Brad, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Like, I feel like I'm doing really well as a human being, but last night on my Facebook feed, up came a Facebook Live from Waitara Knox Church, and they were doing like sort of half-hour worship session. And over the last week or so, I've been watching Coldplay and Ren Collective, all doing the same thing. But it was Sam and Teresa up there in their house, just leading worship for half an hour, and I whacked it up on the big screen TV, Chromecasted it, and just sat back, and it was just so spiritually refreshing. So that was definitely a high for me. It was only day 1. I'm thinking, man, if this is day 1, I'm going to need this on day 21. That's for sure. A low as in our office. It's a work thing, I guess. Margaret's been leading, and she's worked, for the company for the last 20 odd years, and she was been there ever since I've arrived 10 years ago, and was somebody who's from the UK. And so when I moved here 10 years ago, somebody that kind of helped me settle in. And so, normally, we had a sort of big party plan for her. And in the end, we did it over Zoom, had our beer bottles and wine glasses going on, and we just kind of sat down all in our houses and said goodbye. And it was like, it's not really the way you want to say goodbye, but we all got a chance to kind of go around and say what she meant to us. And so it was actually, it was quite nice, but just sad to see her go, So yeah, that was definitely a low. But you know what? I was just thinking about it. It's like, it feels like this is us, it's only day 2, but you've kind of joined my world as somebody that's moved to this country 10 years ago. Like I said, I've been kind of living a sort of online presence with my family, with my mum, with my brother. They're all in different places. Amanda's family's in the States. And so it just kind of feels like, Aotearoa, you've kind of just joined me in this sort of online world that I've been living for a while. So the relationships with my family, I kind of touch base, every couple of days. Now it's been every day. It's just like you've joined me. So that's good. What about you, Brad? Highs, lows?
Highs, lows. Yesterday, my high was that I was quite motivated and organized, and so I set up the day before in my garage a little mini CrossFit gym. Right, I'm like, I am going to get fit, no Corona kilos for me. And so I did this work that I found online, and turns out if you lift weights over your head 100 times and you're not fit, my low is this morning I wake up, I can't even shrug my shoulders.
Oh no!
So it's like I probably need a whole week to recover. So highs, lows. But the other low is that my wife has gone to Pack and Save just now, well, an hour or 2 ago, to stock up. Right, and she's been waiting in the queue. She left her list behind. Her phone just died. She got into the shop, but she can't remember. And so now I'm watching the kids. They just ate all the chips, and they're on the Wii. It's gonna end, so just wait for me to go off camera any second.
Welcome to Corona world.
But we're alive. We're surviving. We're good.
All right, Brad. Well, maybe you need to cheer us up then.
Yeah, well, actually, I think it'd be quite good for us to start with a bit of a devotion, and I was reading the book of Lamentations this morning.
Oh,
my screen
devotion.
As I'm lamenting here with my lows, let's do a bit of Lamentations devotions, okay? So let me know, do you see my screen?
See your PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do a devotion called Lamentation or Taylor Swift lyrics.
Yes.
Obviously, there's some emotive lyrics in both of these books, or songs and books. So here we go: Gordon versus Jasmine, and this is a devotion, so it's a a spiritual practice right now. Okay, so she cries herself to sleep at night, tears soaking her pillow.
Oh, I guess I'll go Taylor Swift. I feel like the way it's written doesn't sound very biblical.
Gordon?
Oh, if you're going to go that way, it's got to be Lamentations then, my friend.
There we go. Let's have a look. It's Lamentations 1 verse 2.
Oh, no. Oh.
Oh,
What version is this? Lamentations.
Jasmine, you'll be crying yourself tonight.
I plan on keeping my winning streak, thank you.
Let's
see.
keep our devotion going, right? Let's focus on the Lord. Your knives and swords and weapons that you use against me. What do we think?
I'm going to go Lamentations again.
Oh, all right. I guess I'm going Taylor Swift. Yay!
Oh, well done, Jasmine. That's one each. Right. Let's do the decider right now. Okay, here we go. My eyes are blind with tears. My stomach is in a knot.
I'm going Lamentations.
Okay, I'm going Taylor Swift.
Yeah, it's definitely Lamentations, right? Okay, one more. No.
Oh, no, what?
You're like a lion ready to pounce. That's a hard one.
Oh, I'll take Taylor Swift.
Yeah, right. Gordon, Lamentations.
I'm going Lamentations. Oh, let's stop there.
Stop there. All right. Yeah, so that's my devotion for the day.
That was your devotion, eh?
Yeah.
Well, it does remind me, this whole sharing screen thing, eh? With a Zoom, anybody can share screen. Can you see my screen right now?
Yep.
Because
Zoom bombing. Is that what we're looking at?
Zoom bombing. I think we've got to talk a little bit about Zoom safety, and none of us are kind of experts. But I saw do you know John O'Hesp, friend of ours? Yeah, John O'Hesp used to head up Alpha here in New Zealand until a few years ago, and he moved into Asia. Is he in Singapore?
Vancouver, I believe, from Facebook. Hi, Jono.
Has he moved to Vancouver?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
Maybe. I could be wrong. This is from Facebook, so yeah. He'll find it pretty weird if he watches this.
Okay, all right. Well, anyway, he kind of shared this this post here, and I thought it's probably worth noticing because there is some risks associated with it. I was on Facebook the other day, and somebody kind of commented how they had a big youth group, and they started their meeting, and all of a sudden there was porn on the screen.
Oh,
and that can be as simple as somebody just displaying their screen, just for a laugh. Like right now, I've shared my screen. Brad, you'd shared your screen, and right now there's nothing you can really do about it as the host of the meeting. People can share their screens, and so look at if you can see this. Is that text big enough? I'll just make it a little bit bigger for you.
You know what this reminds me of? This is like the current day version. When I was a young youth pastor, and we were watching some movie I hadn't pre-screened before, and it was this like sex scene. It was projected onto the wall, and I was like, "Oh no!" So I jumped up in front of the youth group, and I jumped up in front of the screen and like shielded it, but it projected the sex scene onto my body, and so sex on my body, and it was like, I was like, "Oh no!" So that is like, this is what he's saying. This is what could happen at youth group on Zoom.
That is
you can't jump in front of the screen.
That's right. I'm like, my first thought would be like, what do I take it off? No, I can't use my hands for this.
Can you override someone else's screen sharing? So if you were sharing, Brad, could that happen?
So this look at this document. Number one helps you learn this. Okay. Number one, change your screen sharing settings to host only before the call starts. So there is actually a setting where you can say the only person that can share their screen is the host. That is important. It might not be quite so important if you've got a little group, but I think that is a big tip. Change your screen setting to host only. That's going to save a lot of your things. Another thing here, number two, disable join before host.
Oh, that's my go-to. I always have join before host.
I always have join before host because there's nothing worse than people turning up to the meeting before you and they can't get in. And so I've always had that.
Well, I'm always late, so.
But it says, but this is like, and the reason for this, it says, is so people can't cause trouble before you arrive. And these are things you don't really want to think could happen. And I would have thought as youth leaders, we would want to be on the meeting, 20 minutes before the youth ministry starts?
Yeah.
But there is, I guess, a potential risk if you've got, some rowdy kids that they could kind of chat to each other and say that, talk about things they're going to do during this meeting, which would be disruptive. I'm sure not at any of our youth ministries, but potentially,
maybe in the Baptist youth church we'll hear about, maybe.
Oh, no. Episode 1, you're talking about piracy, and episode 2, you're trying to, have issues between denominations. I don't think that's the time, my friend. Okay, number 3, enable co-host so you can assign others to help moderate.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I've not done this before, but I guess that means if you're hosting the meeting, you can say that somebody else and one of your other leaders is a co-host, which means that they have some the powers to kind of be muting people or unmuting people.
But presumably, if it can only start when the host is on, if your whole leadership is a co-host, for example, then whenever there's a leader on, it can start. They can all share their screen. That's what I'm imagining, yeah?
Yeah.
That'd be quite good.
They should be able to share their screens as well, which would probably be pretty valuable, I guess, if you've got a few people stuff.
Yeah.
I'm learning stuff about Zoom by just reading this, and it's stuff that's worth looking into. But look at this: disable file transfer, so there's no digital virus sharing.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and it's not even just the viruses. The files that could be shared, you just might not want to be happening through your church ministry. So that's a good one. I didn't even know you could transfer files, but clearly you can, and that's something to disable. And the last one is to disable allow removed participants to rejoin. So booted attendees can't slip back in. So if you've kicked somebody off because they're causing issues, they can't come back in. So that's good as well. It feels like these are quite, safety cautious, And it doesn't feel like normal youth group activities, but actually, by just doing these simple disabled functions, it's just going to make your life a lot easier. I think it's good stuff there.
Not even just youth group, like churches that are doing church on Zoom,
Oh,
you kick someone out of church, you don't want them to be able to rejoin, right? So, yeah.
Well, I could just imagine a few old people who don't really know what they're doing accidentally sharing their screens and then not being able to get out of it. And then imagine that everyone's and then it kind of disrupts everything. So even for that purpose.
Oh, man.
Oh, and that does happen. I remember when I lived in Scotland, the janitor of the church asking me to have a look at his computer. He's having some tech problems. And I go up there, and on his desktop is links to porn websites. I'm like, oh, I don't want to know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, things that could accidentally happen because you don't quite understand. Oh yeah, you're right. That's a real reality. But yeah, all of those things. And I guess we have. I know Presbyterian Youth Ministry. They're running an online Connect conference next week on Tuesday night, 7:30. Richard Black's going to be there, and it's going to be all about pastoral care. It's going to be an amazing event, and going to be using Zoom for that. And so these are definitely things that, as somebody who does work with DYM, will be definitely making sure all these things are disabled.
Cool.
Issues.
That's really helpful. I'm going to play around now with my safety settings for youth group on Sunday.
Anything else we're missing when we're thinking about safety?
So I was wondering, what about safety with, classic youth group safety, never be alone with a young person, always have 2 leaders, always have like, a guy and a girl leader, etc., etc. Does all that stuff apply when you're in a Zoom meeting? I'm assuming that you would just follow that good practice anyway, but
Yeah.
can I be the only youth group leader at youth group on Sunday on Zoom?
Yeah, I think so. I think you got to kind of roll with that, eh? I think we might have to distinguish the difference between texting and video chat. Like, if you're using messenger stuff, you always say never delete anything. Make sure you've always got it. Don't text people after 9 p.m. and or before 8 in the morning or whatever. So those more intimate hours, you're giving people peace, and don't respond to messages at that time. But I think when it comes to video stuff, you've got to make sure you're not going one-on-one with videos. It's so risky.
Risky. I would say more risky, almost.
Oh, so much more risky. And I think it's really easy, if you're doing regular youth ministry stuff, whatever regular is these days, to have multiple leaders. But if you're doing pastoral care, let's have 2 leaders in those conversations at all times. I think it's got to go that way, right?
Yeah, totally. And it's like, I guess a lot of our pastoral care, if you were in a small group or a youth group or in a cafe, potentially now you're communicating and they're in their bedroom with the door closed, and they just the parent walks in and they see Gordon Fitch's face on the screen. It's like, what are you doing? I'm chatting with Gordon. And they're like, what? So it could look a bit weird.
One good thing that I've seen people do is they'll create like a youth account, so they're not using their personal account to talk to young people if this is like not video, but this is like over text. And then you've got the password with other leaders as well, so everyone's using that one account, so you're never having the case of like things that no one else can see. Like there's kind of that accountability there, which is good.
I think there's something real about how intimate video chat can be. And it's the same with texting, but with video chat particularly. So just be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of what you're wearing. Like you said, if you're in a bedroom, that's more intimate, with doors shut. What you're wearing. All these things kind of come into real play in these situations. So just good things to be thinking about, eh?
Yeah. And I guess the other thing for Zoom safety too is like personal safety, as in like. I think the home phone hours rule is massive because everyone's online all the time, and so not just like a cyber safety, but like a personal safety, health and safety, is turn your device off at 9 p.m., 6 p.m. Don't turn on before. Like there's a potential that we're all going to be consumed by connected line 24/7, and so like for me personally, it's like, man, I got to figure this out because everyone's available all the time. It feels like, and it's driving me nuts.
Okay.
Take your Zoom bombing off my screen.
Oh yeah, you know what though?
I should be able to do that.
Can you do that?
Oh, there you go. Cool. So we've talked about what it looks like to do it safely, but what are we actually doing this week?
What are we doing this week?
Gordon, what are you doing?
I'm going to share my screen.
What? Lucky you can, because he hasn't turned it off.
That's right.
Back to bombing.
Back to bombing.
That's what he's doing for youth group?
Oh, you know what? Hey, Brad, just before I talk about what I'm doing, I did find this thing of Knox Whiteshaw's doing. And you were just kind of talking about us always being available.
Yeah.
This video thing, this clip art is kind of showing what they're doing as a church. But look at this one here, Sabbath.
Yeah.
I encourage you all and your family to take a digital break on Saturday.
Yeah, that's great.
Play a board game, read a book, or do something creative.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
When you're talking about that's really good. But look at everything else they're doing. This is like very intergenerational. Think about the whole church.
Yeah.
We've got a mission group that will meet via Zoom on Mondays at 1. They've got prayer groups that are meeting at 10 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They've got something self-directed every day at 12. They have worship at 8 o'clock live streamed on Facebook on Thursday evenings. They're doing their church service that's being advertised here at 10 a.m. They've got a kids ministry They've got a kids ministry Facebook page that has so much stuff there for families, ideas and stuff. And then their youth ministry, they've got a youth devotional at 12 p.m. via Zoom. They've got their youth group that will meet at 7:30 via Facebook every Wednesday. So they're doing a whole lot of stuff, and that's just
great.
really good to see.
What's good though is like as a church, because they've scheduled in like a Sabbath, you're kind of assuming then that like most people, don't contact them. You know what I mean? Like as a leadership, they're kind of saying, let's all do this. Let's like leave each other alone for a bit. I think it's kind of good. It's quite nice. Well done.
I love that idea.
Now we all feel bad because our churches aren't doing that much. So it's like,
Hey, but we can now. We've got 4 more weeks.
True.
But anyway, you asked me about our church, and as a volunteer leader, this is what I'm seeing coming out. St. John's and the City Youth, we've got you covered. COVID.
Oh,
no, very good.
Good pun.
Yeah, I couldn't even say it right. But this is what youth ministry is looking like. Every day at 3:00, there's a kind of a catch up in games, just a sort of a regular thing. Some of these things I'm involved in, some of these things I'm not. But I do have, actually, I've got all 4 of my children are in youth ministry at the moment. So they've been kind of running around the house, in the afternoon after 3:00. They're taking crazy pictures of things, them getting all dressed up weird, and just doing some kind of, just engagement. It's that sort of social engagement sort of stuff. Running some sort of a Zoom youth group on a Friday. We'll be doing that this evening for the very first time. Obviously got the regular church service that's happening online at 10, but then a short youth service afterwards at 11. And of course our usual Bible study on Wednesdays at 4. So just kind of trying to think of different ways to do things throughout the week. I think I might have a little conversation and suggest that Saturday. That's pretty gold, pretty good. So that's what youth ministry looks like for us just now, and I guess next time we meet, we'll let you know how some of that stuff's gone.
Well, our youth group's
great.
Is cool. Do you see my youth group leaders right now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I lost them. Anyway, that's my team. We met last night on Zoom, and our youth group looks like half an hour to an hour on Sunday, just connecting, playing a few games. One of our leaders is going to organise a sort of a conversation, maybe some video media to like start a conversation, and we'll have some sort of prayer or spiritual practice at the end. And so that's all we've got so far. So I feel like we're a little bit behind all these other cool everyday youth groups, but I think for now we just got to do something and try it and see how it goes. So the Sunday is it, and then we'll unpack that, see where kids are at, and go from there. But we're all volunteers. There's no one paid to do it, so we are a little bit less capacity than some other churches. But
Hey, Brad. Maybe a really good time to mention what our bonus episode is going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow we've got an interview coming up with Bryce Brewer, who's a youth pastor in Spokane, Washington, a state that's been kind of in lockdown for a couple of weeks. And so tomorrow's episode, we'll hear about how youth ministry looks a couple of weeks into this, where young people are at, and what churches in the States are doing. So I think that will be a good episode to watch tomorrow as well. Yeah,
that's the hard thing, is to go, you want to put plans in place, but you don't know what this looks like in a week. Do kids want to be online for youth group? Are they craving online youth group? Do they just want a phone call? I have no idea.
Oh! Zoom!
Zoom! Welcome to Zoom. Oh, Brad!
Really? Okay, cool. That's what happened to us.
All right, Brad. No more talking for you.
Your youth group. I'm just going to mute for a minute.
Oh, no. You're back again. You're fine
good now. You're good.
Oh.
Okay, Jazz.
Cool. So, my church is kind of grappling with the idea of all being over 70, so we don't have a lot of people that know how to use Zoom. And I had a beautiful moment before we went into lockdown with one of our oldies, teaching him how to use YouTube for the first time, which was so beautiful. But like, they get teary when they think about technology. So a lot of our church is doing pastoral care stuff, but we've realized that like if you put a link in an email, they know how to click a link. So some of our younger families are going to get together. We're going to record a Zoom on Saturday night and then put it out for the rest of the church for Sunday morning. So we've got everyone who can't figure out Zoom can click the link, watch it on YouTube, kind of participate through that, and then we'll phone them and talk to them like that.
Jasmine, you know that with Zoom you can actually phone into a Zoom meeting. You can.
Is that still operating? I've heard someone told me that it's not working anymore.
No, it is working.
Great.
We're using it at our church. It's if you have the Pro version. If your church is paying the $15 a month for the Pro version, you can phone in. It will be an 04 number or an 09 number. So I don't think you're 04 up where you are. So it will,
no, we're 06.
Yeah, so it's a long distance phone call for you guys. But it's a phone call. They just need to dial in the meeting code and hash, and they'll be right in there and could listen to it. So that's another option for people. If it's too hard to click and they don't have the computer, just pick up your landline. If you've got a landline, dial the number and you're in. So that is another option. So they've taken that away from the free version of Zoom, but for the paid version, that's a feature that is gold.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like it's worth it. I think I'm going to have to explore that with our church if we've got time. Obviously, it's tomorrow. We'll be recording. But so future, definitely. So that's my church. Oh, I just had a fly over my camera. So that's our church. Our youth group, I'm still kind of planning stuff, and I thought I might try a game on you guys while I'm still kind of in the planning stuff. Are you guys up for that?
All right. What's the game?
Okay. So I don't know. I love games that get us moving, as opposed to kind of just sitting down. And I'm standing today, so it's perfect. So I thought we might do just a little bit of charades.
Okay.
So I think what I'm thinking is that if you're doing this with a youth group, you could either private message or like send it to one, because you can send on Zoom one person a message, right?
Yeah. You can. Or you could text them as well.
I don't know. If
so
on my
you'd
screen,
send.
but yeah, you can do it individuals. Yep.
Yeah, so you could send the whatever they have to do on to the person, but for this demonstration, I'll just do it, and you guys shout out when you guess what it is.
Yeah.
All right.
You know charade rules, right? Where I don't have to explain how to play charades.
Is this where you start off by saying it's a movie or a TV show? Let's do it.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's go.
It's a movie?
Yeah.
2 words? First word. See. Look out.
No, it's more than 2 words.
Inquiry.
Looking. Searching. Finding Nemo.
Yes. You got it. Easy. Oh.
Well.
I think that game is going to work with your youth group as long as it's not me and Brad guessing.
So you could do anything, I guess, including doing teams. So one half of your group, if you've got a big group.
Yeah, well, that would be a good activity, eh?
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. Shall we wrap it up there for a day? We will have the bonus feature out tomorrow with the big interview with Bryce. Really looking forward to that. It'd be really cool to hear how this is all going to look in a couple of weeks' time. Kind of getting a sort of heads up. That's really valuable stuff. And so that will go out tomorrow. And also, connect the Lockdown series with Richard Black. It's a free event Tuesday night, 7:30. Google it. Sign up for that. That sounds like a great thing to be involved in.
Absolutely.
Okay, guys.
Awesome.
Well, we'll see you tomorrow.
Will do.
All right. See you later.
See you guys.
Cheers.